Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day everyone. I am Siti Bayhanan A. Ali, and today I will be explaining with you guys the direct costs, specifically material scheduling flowchart under construction cost engineering. Now, it is actually a systematic approach to planning, procuring, and controlling construction materials to minimize costs and ensure project schedule compliance. Now, before we start with our main topic, let's define first what is direct costs. So, ano ba talaga itong tinatawag na direct costs? When we say direct cost, it refers to all expenses that can be directly attributed to the production of a specific construction project. Kaya ibig sabihin, ito yung mga gastos na direktang ginagamit sa construction project. Okay? Kung walang project, wala rin itong mga costs na to. Ito yung mga costs na vary directly with the scope of work. Ngayon, meron tayong apat na main components. Okay? Una dyan, yung materials. The raw materials, supplies, and components incorporated into the structure. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ito yung may pinakamalaki like semento, steel, and other raw materials. Okay? Pangalawa is yung tinatawag natin na labor. Yung labor, ito yung sahod ng mga workers sa site. Okay? Wages and salaries for workers directly involved in physical construction activities on site. Okay? Pangatlo is yung equipment. Yan yung mga machines and tools. Okay? Pang-apat naman is yung mga subcontract. Ito yung mga bayad sa ibang contractors na may specific work. Like for example, sa site, nasa may windows and doors na tayo. So, kailangan natin maghanap ng mga contractor ng glass and aluminum works. So, itong apat na to, ito yung mga costs na direktang naka-align sa project natin or ginagamit sa construction project. Yan yung tinatawag natin na direct costs. Okay, material costs in construction. So, bakit ito mahalaga? Bakit ito importante? Okay, kasi ang materials ay umaabot ng 50 to 60% ng total construction costs. Ibig sabihin, 50 to 60% from the total project cost is material lang yun. Okay? Material costs represent the single largest direct cost in most construction projects. Okay? Bakit? Ito yung ibig sabihin, kung hindi maayos ang planning, merong apat na posible magiging resulta. Una is pwedeng magkaroon ng material price fluctuation. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ito yung pwedeng tumaas ang presyo. Pangalawa is waste and over-ordering. Magkakaroon tayo ng waste or sobra ng mga materials kapag hindi tama yung material scheduling natin. Okay? Pangatlo is storage and handling. Ito yung mga problema sa storage like mga damage or yung theft. Kasi hindi, in such project, may mga cases na nakawan na nangyayari or nawawala yung mga materyales. Okay? And then pang-apat is cash flow impact. Early procurement ties up capital. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang nun, maaapektuhan yung cash flow ng project natin. Kaya napaka-importante nitong material cost scheduling kasi very critical ang tamang schedule ng materials. So, meron tayong material scheduling. Before we proceed sa step, i-define muna natin kung ano yung definition and purpose ng material scheduling. Okay, ano ba itong tinatawag na material scheduling? When we say material scheduling, it is the systematic approach or process of determining what materials are needed, how much is required, and when they must be delivered to support uninterrupted construction activities at the lowest direct costs. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ito yung process ng pag-determine ng anong mga materyales ang kailangan, gaano karami, at kailan dapat dumating. Okay, para tuloy-tuloy ang construction at maiwasan ng delay at extra costs. Ngayon, ano yung purpose nito? Una is to ensure continuity. Guarantee materials are available at the right time so construction activities proceed without delay or interruption. Okay, ibig sabihin walang tigil ang trabaho. nasa tamang pag-schedule. So, alam natin na ito yung susunod na project. I mean, ito yung susunod na work. So, dapat continue yung project natin, yung pagtrabaho natin. Naka-ready lahat yung mga materyales. Okay? Pangalawa is cost control. Ito yung iwas sa rush orders at extra na gastos. Okay? Pangatlo is waste reduction. Ibig sabihin, tama lang ang order natin. Hindi tayo sumobra, hindi rin tayo kulang. Ibig sabihin, order accurate quantities based on drawings and BOQ. Okay, para maiwasan natin yung over-ordering and material losses. Pang-apat is cash flow optimization. Ang ibig sabihin lang ito, hindi sabay-sabay ang gastos natin. Naka-align ang material procurement with project cash flow, no, and payment schedule milestone. Nasa tamang pag-schedule, nasa tamang flow yung pera na paglabas at pasok. Okay? Panglima is quality assurance. Ibig sabihin, masisiguro na tama ang mga materials natin, whereas it allows sufficient lead time to procure specified materials and reject non-conforming deliveries before installation. And panghuli is supplier coordination. Ito yung magandang relasyon sa suppliers natin. You must build strong vendor relationships through advanced planning, enabling better pricing and priority service. Kasi in such time, kapag rush ka nag-order ng mga materyales, minsan tinitake advantage yan ng mga suppliers na since nagra-rush tayo, mapipilitan tayo na kung ano na lang yung na-inquire natin dyan, kung sino lang yung nandyan, kahit mahal, mapipilitan tayo na yun na lang ang bibilhin natin. Whereas kung meron kang proper or advanced na request for quotation, and then makakapili ka kung saan may mura at saan may magandang quality. Okay? So, overall, ito yung sinasabi na mas efficient ang project kapag ginawa mo itong material scheduling. Ngayon, paano ba ginagawa ang material scheduling? So, meron tayong 7 na flowchart, flowchart para sa material scheduling. Okay, isa-isahin natin to sila. So, magsisimula sa step 1 and step 2, which is scope review and material takeoff. For the step 1, number 1 is to obtain complete construction drawings. Ibig sabihin, dapat meron kang buong listahan, buong detalye ng plano. Hihingin mo yan sa engineer, no? Dapat meron kayong drawings, architectural plans, structural plans, okay? And then you must review the specification kasi meron tayong iba't ibang specification ng materials, depende yan sa grades, kung ano yung standards, tapos yung mga quality na requirements. So, kailangan aralin mo yun na nakabase dun sa drawing na binigay. And then yung examine the bill of quantities that is provided by the estimator. Syempre, meron tayong BOQ. Nandun yung listahan ng mga materyales. So, i-check mo doon. And then, you must identify all work packages and activity sequence in the construction programs. And then, you clarify scope boundaries, kung hanggang saan lang yung scope of works mo. Okay, scope of works ng project. And then, identify long lead items requiring early procurement action. Okay, so, to make it short, sa step 1, dito chine-check lahat ng drawings, plans, and specification. Tinitingnan kung ano ba talaga ang gagawin sa project at kung ano yung mga materyales na kailangan. Now, step 2, material takeoff or MTO. So, you perform quantity takeoff from structural drawings. So, nandyan yung mga concrete volumes, rebar way. Kumbaga, kukunin mo yung quantity mismo base dun sa BOQ na hiningi mo. And then sa drawing. And then you compute architectural quantities, yung such as blocks, tiles, paint areas, doors, windows, and hardware. Extract MEP material list like pipe lengths, cable runs, fixtures, equipment. Then apply allowances for waste factors. So ibig sabihin i-apply mo yung around 2 to 10% depending on the material type. Then you organize MTO into a material register group by trade and work package. So, to make it short, dito naman kinukuha yung exact quantity ng materials mula sa drawings. Like for example, ilang cubic meters ng concrete ang kailangan, ilang kilo ng bakal, ilang tiles. So basically, dito kinukompute lahat ng kailangan sa step 2. Okay, moving on to the step 3, which is the procurement planning and schedule interrogation. So, sa step na ito, pinaplano kung saan bibili at kailan o-order. No? You determine supplier lead times for each material category, yung local versus important. And then you identify approved vendors from approved vendor lists, establish budget benchmark from quantity surveyor estimate, and then you classify materials standard, long lead, critical, and specialist item. You prepare the RFQ or request for quotation for the document supplier bidding kasi syempre meron yung iba't ibang works in such projects. Ngayon, hanap kayo ng subcontractors. So, magre-request ka ngayon ng quotation, then magkakaroon ng bidding, whereas kung sino yung mananalo, siya yung magkakaroon ng, award, no? Doon mabibigay sa kanila. Depende sa price and quantity or depende sa offer. Now, you set procurement milestone with required on-site dates working backward. Now, to make it short, ito yung pinaplano kung saan bibili at kailan ka mag-order. Okay? Kasama dito yung lead time ng supplier, budget, at paghahanda ng RFQ or request for quotation. Now, for the step number 4, you schedule interrogation. Okay, link material, register to the master program by activity codes, and then you set required on-site ROS dates for each material linked to activity start date. Back calculate order dates from ROS dates minus supplier lead time. Okay, flag critical path material that could lead delay project if not procured on time. Okay, and then you create a material delivery schedule as a subsidiary documents to the program. Okay, to make it short, sa step 4, dito naman sinasabay ang materials sa construction schedules. Ibig sabihin, kailan gagamitin ang materials, kailan dapat dumating para hindi ma-delay ang trabaho. So, sunod-sunod kasi yung pagtrabaho, yung step by step yung pag-order ng materials. Hindi pwede na sabay-sabay mong in-order yan dahil una, masastock yan siya sa site, maaaring may masira, may mawala pag hindi nagkaroon ng proper storage. So, by schedule ang pagdating at pag-order ng materials. For the step number 5, supplier bid, delivery, and cost control. Okay? Sa step 5, issue RFQ or request for quotation to shortlisted suppliers with technical specification. And then you evaluate bids according to the price, quality, delivery, reliability, financial standing. And then negotiate terms. So, kapag meron ka ng RFQ, meron nang nagbigay sa iyo ng quotation, baka pwede pang ma-negotiate, tapos yung payment schedule, kung paano yung process ng bayad, kung may down payment ba, and then yung delivery dates, kung kailan dadating, at kung mayroon bang penalties if in case. And then you issue purchase order, of course, with agreed terms and conditions. Napakahalaga ito, dapat alam mo yung terms and conditions ng mga supplier mo para maiwas tayo sa kahit na anong problema. And then you confirm delivery dates and partial delivery schedule if needed. Okay, to make it short, magbibigay ng quotation, i-evaluate ang presyo at quality, and then mag-issue ka ng purchase order. Kumbaga, dito fina-finalize kung sino ang supplier na napili natin. Okay, step number 6 is delivery monitoring. Track delivery status. Syempre, pag naka-order ka na, titignan mo kung itatrack mo kung ano na yung status ng delivery mo against dun sa purchase order commitments. Okay? You coordinate side logistics, yung pag-unload. Pag ando na yung materials, yung unloading, storage areas, access roads, kung madadaanan ba yun, kung saan ba i-store yung mga materials na in-order mo. And then, you must inspect materials at gate. I-check mo kung yung in-order mo ba, yung dami ng in-order mo is tama ba yung dumating nung nasa site na, kung tama ba yung specification, kung tama ba lahat nung materials na dumating sa'yo. Of course, material testing is kailangan kapag required na yon. Okay, and then you record receipt in material receiving register. So, syempre, meron dapat documents lahat ng mga materials na in-order. So, dapat naka-record yan sila. And then, last step is usage and cost control. Okay, issue materials from storage against approved material requisition forms. Track materials consumption against planned quantities. Record wastage and identify causes for corrective actions. Update costs report, actual material costs versus budget estimate, and then reports material cost variance to project controls team. Ibig sabihin, sa last step, minomonitor ang paggamit ng materials. Tinitingnan kung may wastage ba, kino-compare ang actual versus budget, and gumagawa ng costs report. So, to make it short, para makontrol ang gastos ng project. So, yan yung 7 na steps para ma-perform itong material scheduling. So, ano-ano ba yung mga nabanggit dito ng mga documents? Okay? Meron tayong 6 na documents na kailangan sa material scheduling. The BOQ, the MTO, MDS, PO, MRR, and costs report. Okay, pag sinabi nating BOQ or the bill of quantities, simply ito yung listahan ng mga materyales. Pag sinabi naman nating MTO, ito yung material take-off or yung mga detailed quantities. Pag sinabi nating MDS, material delivery schedule, ito yung schedule ng delivery. PO, purchase order. Sabihin order sa supplier, ito yung mga in-order natin sa supplier. MRR, materials receiving register, report ng deliveries. I-documents mo lahat ngayon ng in-order mo. So, kailangan naka-file yan sila. And then lastly is the material cost report or the comparison ng budget versus actual. Kung nasunod ba, kung may discrepancy ba, or kung anong klaseng report ba. So, ito yung backbone ng material scheduling natin. So, to conclude or to summarize our topic, material cost impact, ibig sabihin napakahalaga ng materials na ito, ang proper material scheduling dahil around 50 to 60% ang total direct costs. Dapat mayroon tayong tamang pagpaplano para maiwasan ang kahit na anong problema. It makes material scheduling one of the most impactful cost engineering activities. Ang materials ang may pinakamalaking costs sa construction. So we have 7 steps ng process. Effective scheduling follows: una, scope review, MTO, procurement planning, schedule interrogation, bid and award, delivery, cost control. Okay, kailangan ng tamang planning at scheduling. And then, cost engineering role. The cost engineer must ensure material quantities, pricing, and timing are aligned with the project program and budget at all times. And then, key documents natin, yung 6 na nabanggit. Meron tayong BOQ, MTO, MDS, purchase order, MRR, and material cost reports are the foundational documents of an effective material scheduling system. Okay? At ang importante ng role ng cost engineer sa pagkontrol ng cost at schedule. Kaya napakahalaga ng material scheduling dahil ito ay critical para sa success project. So, yun lamang po at maraming salamat.